Всем привет! Hello everybody, my name is Gyak and welcome to Learning Russian with Me series. I'll be now focusing on a lot of grammar. And I'm going to have that as a general guide, so when I go and look into vocab specific subjects, then you already have the understanding of the grammar. You can always come back and refer to these. That being said, today we're going to be focusing on Russian nouns, or in Russian, it would be русские существительные, right? So, this is very critical because the Russian language revolves around the nouns, because the sentence must agree with the noun's gender and number. That means the verbs, adjectives, and adverbs all have to reflect the noun's gender and number. So, there are three genders in the Russian language: masculine, feminine, and neuter or neutral. Masculine nouns are living things with a male gender, but you can also identify them if they end in consonants and if they end in i kratkaya. Feminine nouns are identified by the fact that they are living things with a female gender and that they end in a, ya, and the soft sign, also known as myaky znak. Finally, you know a word is neutral or neutered if it ends in o, ye, mia, or yo. And another tip is that if it's a loan word, aka a word imported from another place into the Russian language, then it is a high chance it will also be a neutered word. All right? Noun in this case. So let's look at some examples. Mужчина, mужчина. On a first glance, you can tell that it could be feminine because it ends in a. However, it means man. Therefore, it's a masculine noun. Burya. Burya is feminine because it ends in a ya. All right? More. All right? More means sea, and it is neutral because it ends in ye. All right? Here's the next word. Mentally note and tell, or even write in the comment section, why noch is a feminine noun, right? And the answer is because it ends in myaky znak, all right? Or the soft sign. Muzey is masculine because it ends in i kratkaya. And vremya, it's neutral only because it ends in mia. If it didn't end in mia and ended in just ya, then it will become feminine. Also, zhenshina. Zhenshina is obviously feminine because it's the opposite of mushina, which means woman. Then zavod is masculine because it ends in a consonant and it means factory. And finally, slovo. Perhaps a word you would need to know a lot because it just literally means word. And because it ends in o, it's neutral. Quick exercise. Pause the video, write down which one is masculine and which one is feminine. If you want to guess before I say the answer, go ahead. But I'm going to reveal the answers now. Pылесос, vacuum cleaner. That is masculine. Why? Because it ends in a consonant. Sistra, sister. That is feminine because sister is a feminine living thing, right? And also it ends in an a as well. Сердце, heart. It is neutral because it ends in ye. Oh, задание. For the same reason as сердце, heart, задание, building, is a neutral or neutered noun. Shapka, hat. That is feminine because it ends in a. Zakaz, order. It is masculine. And zakaz, order, it could mean both, like getting an order from the government or placing an order on Uber Eats, something like that. Now, let's look into plural forms. How do you turn nouns from singular to plural? And it is very dependent, once again, on its gender. Now, just add "ü" if it ends in a consonant. You should also add "i" when it ends in "i kratkaya" and "mjaki znak" or soft sign. For feminine, add "i" when it ends in "a." Okay? And add "i" when ending in "ya" or "mjaki znak." And if you're wondering, wait, you didn't talk about masculine nouns having the mjaki znak or soft sign. Well, that is because what I'm showing you now is applicable for 80% of the Russian vocabulary. There are obviously a lot of instances where there are exceptions, but rather than be surprises for you so that you can identify when that happens. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And for neutral, if it's ending in O, add "a." And you should add "ya" if it's ending in "ye" or "yo." However, there is a spelling rule in this case, where these rules are overridden. They're overridden when the word ends, or the last consonant of that word ends in g, k, h, j, ch, sh, sh. And you have to add "e" at the end. You can remember these words. You don't have to specifically remember it's these letters exactly, although it'll help you if you do. But you can see all their sounds. There's an exhale of air. G, k, h, j, ch, sh, sh. You're blowing air out. So if you feel like you're blowing air out, it's probably safe to add an "e" at the end if you're making that word into a plural form. That being said, let's practice a little. Autobus. What would the plural of autobus mean? What would it be? It would be autobusi. Why? Because it's a consonant, s, so add an "i" at the end. And you could probably guess, but it means bus or buses. Now, here, kniga. What is it going to become? You might be tempted to say knig because it ends in "a", but remember it is ending in g. So you add knigi, and it means books. The next one is чувство. What will чувство become? If you said чувства, you are correct because it ends in o, so neutered word, and thus it'll become чувства. And it means feelings or feeling. Now it's your turn to practice. Урок. What will урок become? And pause and try to give your answer, all right? Just give it your shot, all right? And after every one I say. If you said уроки, you are correct. Because it ends in k and the spelling rules, that is why it became "i", not "u". And urok means lessons. So uroki means lessons. Вещь, very useful word, but what would its plural form be? If you said вещи, you are correct because it ends in mjaki znak and it's a feminine noun. So it means things. That's a very useful word to know in Russian. Платье. What would платье plural form be? If you said платья, then you're correct. It means dresses. And it's a neutered or neutral noun. And that is why it is there, because it ends in ye, right? Now, ружье. What will ружье be in plural form? If you said ружья, you are correct. Once again, neutered noun. So yo becomes into ya, and it means shotgun. Lampa. What would lampa be in plural? If you said lampe, you are correct. It's ending in a, and so it'll become ending in u when you're making it into plural. And as you could probably guess from the sound of it, it means lamp. Final one, all right? Герой. Now, Geroi, what is it going to be? It's going to be geroi. Why? Because it is I kratkaya, masculine noun, and that's why the last one will become I. And it means hero. Geroi means hero. So there you go. I run by you the simpler aspect of Russian nouns. And the next set of videos will be talking about and exploring in depth the more complicated parts of Russian grammar that is as critical. For homework, in the previous slide where you were determining whether a noun was what gender, turn all of those into a plural form and put it in the comment section down below and I'll check. All right, if you have questions, ask. All right, hope this video was helpful and I hope you guys have a good day. До свидания. Goodbye.